And welcome back, everybody, here to part 2 of segment 6 of the 24 Hours of Sebring, as we continue to cover hours 16 through 18 here in the longest Enter 2003 race in history. If you didn't join us for the first half, let's try and bring you up to speed on what happened in the first hour and a half of segment 6. We ended up having a couple of drivers encounter some problems, with Alyssa Fields starting on the pole, but some drivers, as I said, encountered some problems, including Dylan Young and Jacob Anthony, and their spins basically were down to the fact they didn't have any grip and they lost it themselves, but both of them ended up hitting the outside tire barriers that you can see here just outside the track, and both drivers brought their cars to pit road and have retired from the race. Joseph Onesto also encountered trouble so far here tonight, as he ended up spinning out. He was able to keep himself on the lead lap though, but then coming to pit road during the second cycle of pit stops, he was rear-ended by Henry Nova and spent a long time on pit road. I believe he is now a total of 4 laps down at the current moment. And then finally, Alex Tanker, who at the time was running up inside the top 5, ended up deciding to stay out 1 extra lap, ran out of fuel, and then while off the pace was rear-ended by Alyssa Fields, causing problems in his machine, and he has retired from the race as well with a valve problem. So we have a total right now of 3 drivers that have retired from this race: Tanker, Jacob Anthony, and Dylan Young. So I believe, according to the way that the system works, the 88 team, the 19 team, and the 14 team will not be taking part in segment 7, which, by the way, is going to be taking place over on a different channel than scheduled. It was originally scheduled to be airing over on Silver Machine 9000, aka Anthony McCrory's channel, but now it will be over on Jamie Pinter's channel. So check out in the description the link to Jamie's channel. Be sure to subscribe over there so that way you'll be able to be in on part 7, segment 7 that is, coming out. As far as the battle up here at the front, it has basically been dominated by Kyle Thomas. Alyssa Fields, the pole sitter, dominated the first few moments of this segment. Then Kyle Thomas was able to run her down and bypass her for the lead. He has led the most laps here today so far, or her tonight so far, I should say, as it is nighttime conditions. But Alyssa Fields then, after the cycle of pit stops, was able to come back out as the leader. But then, not too long after, Kyle Thomas took the lead back again. And we've also had a couple of other drivers lead some laps here. Noah Hart has actually led a lap, I believe, and also too has Darian Taylor, and I believe Avis Rapax has also led a lap. Let's give you a look through the field of where everybody is running right now, as Kyle Thomas is still remaining as the leader. He has been the strongest car of the evening and continues to dominate here tonight. Second place right now is Avis Rapax in the second position. Rapax has had actually a really good night. It started out good, then it kind of seemed to go away as his tires started to wear down and everything. He fell down almost outside the top 5, but even through every single pit stop these drivers have made, that team has been very consistent, having a great run here tonight, after starting off, I believe, from the second position here in segment 6. Eric Cardona. Now this guy, I'll tell you what, talk about really working your way through the field here. This guy knows something apparently about endurance races, because he started dead last in this segment. He started from the 18th position, and here, just past the halfway point, he is running up in the 3rd place. He is having a great run right now, is Eric in that number 2 team. Henry Nova, after his contact with Joseph Onesto, apparently it did a lot more damage to Onesto than it did to Henry Nova's machine, as he is running up there right now in the 4th position and completing the top 5. Actually a good battle for 5th. Matt Duell has it, and Kyle Sosnowski is right behind him for that position. That's 5th and 6th right now between those two. Complete polar opposites from where they started out segment 6. Sosnowski started up at the front of the field. I believe he rolled off from 3rd place. Matt Duell, on the other hand, started way at the rear of the field. I think he may have actually started in 16th. This is actually a really good battle going on track right now between these two. So let's keep a little look-see on this for just a couple of minutes and see if anything develops. This is for a spot inside the top 5. And Sosnowski, boy, he's right there. He is hounding Matt Duell. Probably maybe about 2 feet between the rear of the 83 and the front of the 9. That rear view mirror of that number 83 machine is completely full of the Kyle Sosnowski machine. We'll come back to this battle as quickly as we can because this may be the best battle on track right now. Thought Sosnowski might make a move here, but no, he won't. Right now, Darian Taylor has moved into the 7th position. He just actually bypassed somebody back there for that spot. So he's in 7th. 8th place right now is Ralph Mason. That's the car that got passed. I couldn't make out who it was. So Mason now back to 8th. Dylan Pote still remaining in this in 9th. He's been trying to utilize pit strategy all night to keep himself up inside the top 10. And currently running in 10th place is Noah Hart. Now Noah Hart, the reason he's so far back here is because Hart actually had to make a pit stop and lost quite a bit of track position. He has been running up as far as 2nd place for most of the evening. He was running 3rd at one time behind the duo of Kyle Thomas and Avis Rapax. Now he's back in the 10th position, but maybe after pit stops cycle around, we'll see him back up inside the top 3. There is Joseph Onesto. Now he is right now, according to the scoring monitor, 4 laps down. But the good news for Onesto is when we get to segment 6, if that car was still running, those 4 laps are going to be given right back to him and he'll start back on the lead lap. So Joseph Onesto, basically now what he's got to do for the next few hour and, about an hour and 20 minutes or so. Actually, it's about an hour and 27 minutes. But he just basically got to survive now. If he can do that, Joseph Onesto could very well be back on the lead lap when he hands the reins over to the next driver, which for some reason is failing me who it's going to be. There is Alyssa Fields. And actually, I was just going to say, it looked like she was headed for pit road. Now, Alyssa Fields, if you're just joining us, she is actually way off the pit sequence from everybody else. She ended up pitting under our first cycle of pit stops about maybe 5 laps earlier than everybody else did. 5 to 10 laps earlier. So she is way off the pit sequence, which means she has a pit road all to herself when she has to cycle around and make pit stops here. And right now, it's exactly what she's doing. All by her lonesome, and the first pit stall here is Alyssa Fields. There is Michael Norman. He now takes away the 11th position from Alyssa Fields as he was able to stay out there and gain that position on track. Michael Norman's been having a very quiet night, to say the least. I believe the furthest up front he's been is the 5th position, but I think that was actually during the cycle of pit stops. Michael Norman's been running near the rear of the field for most of this segment, but I think for a number of these drivers right now, since they're so far back from the leader, Kyle Thomas has just been dominating. Right now, their goal is to just survive, to hand it over to their co-drivers in segment 7, as there is Alex Pedro still on the lead lap. Pedro did encounter some problems earlier on in this segment as well, but wasn't nearly as hard hits as Dylan Young and Jacob Anthony took, which sent them behind the wall. Pedro has remained on the lead lap. He's currently running in the 13th position. I believe he'll actually cycle into 12th on this next lap after bypassing Alyssa Fields on pit road. There's Alyssa Fields back on pit road, off of pit road. There is PJ Williams. I believe he is the last car on the lead lap. Joseph Onesto, the first car a lap down, 4 laps down. PJ Williams right now running at the very tail end of the field, and probably the same thing for him. Just try and survive here today. This is certainly a far cry from the run PJ Williams had back in segment 3. I remember him starting up there at the front of the field for all of that, and right now, certainly not the same. It's different because it's nighttime conditions. The last time PJ Williams got into this car, it was daytime. And there is Kyle Thomas. I'm not certain, but is he actually catching PJ Williams? See, PJ's hit that apex there. And Kyle Thomas is he heading onto it just now? No. Okay, so Kyle Thomas has a little bit of time before he's going to catch up to PJ Williams, but right there is where we actually just were looking at PJ Williams. So maybe about, I would say about 10 seconds ahead, PJ Williams ahead of the leader Kyle Thomas. And Kyle Thomas, I don't know, it seems to be like a pattern with him. where we always seem to see where he's going to be coming to pit road, because his lap times all of a sudden seem to fall off about a second every lap. Last time by it was a 1:59. Oh, this time almost it was the exact same lap. Maybe about a little bit of 1,000 slower, I would say. So almost the exact same lap time there, so maybe, just maybe, he's not doing too badly as far as tire wear at the current moment. Right now he is still leading, and let's take a look and see if that battle for 5th place between Matt Dool and company is going on actually. We should actually keep a close look on this. Avis Rapax coming to pit road, as well as Eric Cardona. So the cycle of pit stops is taking place here, and there's another car on pit road that looks like that could be Henry Nova. It is. So Cardona, Nova, and Rapax all come down pit road here for their cycle of pit stops. Oh, there's somebody else in. Is that Ralph Mason or PJ Williams? That is Ralph Mason. And right behind him, Matt Dool is also on pit road. So drivers making their pit stops here. 5 of them, that is. And now that begs the question, when are the other guys going to have to come in? Alyssa Fields has already made a pit stop. And there is Kyle Thomas. Kyle Sosnowski has now moved into 2nd. Darian Taylor into 3rd. And look at this good battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Darian Taylor, Noah Hart, and Dylan Poteet. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe all 3 of these drivers are on the exact same pit sequence, so we'll probably be seeing all of them come to pit road on the exact same lap. Right behind them, not too far back, that is, I believe, Joseph Onesto. Yes, indeed. Onesto, kind of a non-factor right at the moment here, but best thing he could do right now is get that car to the end of this segment in one piece. Noah Hart taking that turn a little wide there, hits the rumble strips. And these 3, while battling amongst themselves, are starting to reel in Noah Hart's teammate there, Kyle Sosnowski. And we'll see if these 3 are going to come into pit this time. Actually, we should jump up and see when Kyle Thomas is coming in as well. I don't think Kyle Thomas came down pit road the same lap as those other 3. I think he actually may have stayed out another 2 or 3 laps above that the last 2 times we've had pit stops. Coming through the very tricky S section of this track. We'll come down here very, very shortly to the area where the apron is to be able to head to pit road, and we'll see if Kyle Thomas makes any indication to head there. I'm almost certain that probably we're going to see Dylan Poteet and Noah Hart and Darian Taylor on pit road this time, just based on the way that the pit sequence has gone the last 2 times drivers have stopped. Right now, the question is, what about Kyle Thomas? And another thing is, too, what about these other guys that pitted earlier on? They've got fresher rubber now on track to be able to run faster lap times. So they're able to make up a little bit of ground that way on Kyle Thomas. So what will that mean when Thomas pits? Will somebody be able to, with the fresher rubber right now against Kyle Thomas's older rubber, be able to close up? And once the cycle of pit stops come around, will there be actually a challenger for Kyle Thomas? Never know. That's one thing that these drivers strategize on. And we've seen all night long where a lot of drivers come down pit road a lot earlier than Kyle Thomas does, and Thomas will stay out this lap. Kyle Sosnowski a long ways back. We got to watch him go through this section of the track first before we can even see if he's going to come to pit road. And Joseph Onesto has actually bypassed Dylan Poteet and separated him now from Darian Taylor and Noah Hart, that battle for 3rd. So Onesto, even for a lap down machine, is obviously still very strong. Sosnowski will not come to pit road. Looks like Darian Taylor, Noah Hart, they're not coming either. Neither is Dylan Poteet. Michael Norman is now cycled up into the 6th position. He will not pit this lap. Rapax was the first of the drivers to pit right now. He's currently in 7th. Right behind him is Eric Cardona, and not too far behind them is Henry Nova and Matt Dool and Ralph Mason, who all have come to pit road. Now let's see what the gap is here between Michael Norman and Avis Rapax, and it looks like it's about 16 seconds between the 7 and the 15. So Rapax is definitely going to move up into the top 5, I believe, after these pit stops cycle through. Whoa! Eric Cardona, hang on to her. That car got really squirrely there through that one corner, and he almost overcorrected it in an attempt to save it, but he hangs on to it, and you can just see now that little mishap there, the little hiccup, has actually lost him some ground between himself and Avis Rapax, as that is a battle for the 7th position. Meanwhile, up here, Darian Taylor has gotten away. He'll hold the 3rd place. 4th place, Noah Hart, though, has the lap machine of Joseph Onesto all over his back bumper, and then Dylan Pote right behind him as well. This is the best battle on track right now, and now Noah Hart is reeled back in. Darian Taylor, and here he comes to the inside as Darian Taylor got the rumble strips through that corner, took it a little wide, and Noah Hart, I believe, is going to go by for the 3rd position. So a little mistake there on the part of Darian Taylor. Noah Hart now clears him, will move into 3rd. Taylor now back to 4th, but now he's got the lap car of Joseph Onesto underneath him. Not a battle for position, but good battle on track nonetheless. Darian Taylor will have the preferred line coming down here into this corner, but it doesn't matter, Onesto has cleared him. And now, as Darian Taylor sets his sights on trying to get by the lap machine of Joseph Onesto now, that could bring 5th place Dylan Pote right to his back door. Meanwhile, Kyle Sosnowski right now running in 2nd. Good day right now for himself and his teammate Noah Hart, currently running 2nd and 3rd, but both of those drivers still have to pit at some point. Sosnowski's been very quiet here tonight, really. We have talked about him, but not really as far as battles that have been going on. Sosnowski started up at the front, kind of slipped back to just inside the tail end of the top 10, and now, all of a sudden here in the second half of this segment, he is starting to come alive. Right now, the gap between himself and Kyle Thomas is about 23.5 seconds. As Kyle Thomas has really just continued to open up the gap here. And with the fact that both Kyle Thomas and Kyle Sosnowski have not got fresh rubber at the moment, I highly doubt that either one of them is going to force the issue and try and run super fast lap times in order to try and either get away or run each other down. We'll see, though, as right now, Noah Hart is starting to close in on his teammate Kyle Sosnowski. Last time by, it was about maybe 6.2 seconds that Sosnowski had over his teammate. And that may be cut down here, you never know. Let's see this time how far back Sosnowski is from Kyle Thomas, and officially it is. I don't think they've updated it. 2.29 or 22.98. So we closed it down by practically 0.2. And his teammate Noah Hart is now only, what'd that be? 3.7. No. 3.1 seconds back. 4.1 seconds back. That's what he is. Right now, though, it is still Kyle Thomas leading the way. And obviously, it's still early on. We still got an hour and coming up on an hour and 10 seconds left. Or an hour and 10 minutes, I should say. That was my bad. But I don't think we can give the win to Kyle Thomas in this segment just yet. I mean, this is, like we said, an endurance race. And these segments, in and of themselves being 3 hours long, are like a little endurance race inside a huge collective endurance race. And just because a driver is able to get out to a huge lead, and just because a car is managing to be able to open up distance between himself and everybody else, as now Kyle Thomas is coming to pit road. You got to keep in mind, though, that the driver could make a mistake, the car could have a mechanical failure, there still is room for error being an endurance race. It is a very hard thing on both man and machine. So for the first time here in this second half, Kyle Thomas comes to the attention of his pit crew. And it does not sound like Kyle Thomas is coming. I don't think he did. No, Thomas is, or Kyle Sosnowski rather, he is going to stay out. And that huge lead that Kyle Thomas had all of a sudden is gone, and there's a new leader here at Sebring. And this is interesting too, because Kyle Sosnowski actually tried to lead a lap under the cycle of pit stops a while back, but he came to pit road and his teammate Noah Hart that time ended up crossing the stripe ahead of him. Speaking of Noah Hart, man, he got a nice run into that corner, and we may have a battle for the lead between the 9 and the 10 before we even get to these guys having to make pit stops. This is quite interesting, if you ask me. This is going to be a good battle here. Noah Hart now kind of backing off a little bit there, but he did get one great run into that corner. And now Noah Hart taking the turns a little bit wider. We may actually be getting communication that Kyle Sosnowski will be coming to pit road this time, so he's planning on giving that 9 machine plenty of room, as I don't think Noah Hart may actually come to pit road this time. I think Noah Hart actually is off the pit sequence as well, and is actually able to go a couple of laps more. Meanwhile, though, Joseph Onesto right behind these guys is eyeing that leader. He would only be 3 laps down if he's able to bypass Kyle Sosnowski right now. Although I think Onesto's going to have to make a pit stop at some point here. Although Onesto is way off the pit sequence. And here comes Noah Hart to the bottom on Sosnowski. What if Sosnowski was planning to pit, though? Well, apparently he is. And oh, he just got the wall! He just nailed the pit wall! Oh my goodness, Sosnowski, who was leading at the time, has just hit the pit wall, and he hit that thing hard. Oh my goodness, what a turn of events this is! Where's his teammate Noah Hart? Now Noah Hart's on pit road. Oh my goodness, now this basically came down to the fact that Noah Hart and Kyle Sosnowski were double wide coming to pit road, and Sosnowski had to come down pit road the wide way rather than being down there against that inside wall to come down pit road. Oh man, I'm not sure if Sosnowski is going to be too pleased with his teammate Noah Hart here, because that... Oh man. And Sosnowski still sits on pit road, easy for me to say. As Noah Hart comes out, I don't know if Kyle Thomas beat him out or not. Looks like he very well might have. Yeah, I believe he's now the leader is Thomas. Ray Paxton second, Cardona third, Nova fourth, and Matt Duell, I believe, is now running in the 5th position. We'll find that out after things cycles out, but man, that is a tough break there for Kyle Sosnowski. Let's take a look at your NSRA split cam and see what exactly happened here. Watch as it looks like Noah Hart, I don't really know why he went to the inside of the 9 machine at all. I mean, if they both were going to come down pit road that lap, why not stay behind the 9 machine and come down single file? But he went double wide there. He took the lane that the drivers used to indicate they are coming to pit road. Sosnowski was left out on the high side, and Sosnowski had to pit as well. But his car, when he came down pit road, he just took it too wide, and he did not make it cleanly onto pit road. He got, I believe it was with the left front, he got that, I don't know if that's even a safer barrier there, separating pit road from the racetrack. Let's actually look if Thomas comes around here. Boy, I think those are actually some white barrels there, trying to barricade that that barrier there. I don't even think that's a safer barrier separating pit road from the racetrack, as one driver was just on pit road, I believe. Yep, that was Dylan Poteet. And Poteet was 4th last time around, and now making a pit stop, so this is going to push him possibly just outside the top 10. So pit stops have cycled around now after Poteet will complete his service. And Kyle Thomas is not the leader? Who is the leader? Oh, it's Michael Norman! Now, I don't think Michael Norman has actually come to pit road yet. So Michael Norman, for the first time tonight, is actually going to be out in front here in segment 6, but I think he still has to make a pit stop. Interesting strategy here, though. We saw Dylan Poteet stay out, and now has made a pit stop. Michael Norman now will probably have to pit this lap. And if he does make a pit stop, we'll wait and watch him as he's going to be coming down and see if indeed Kyle Sosnowski's going to be able to continue. But that was a hard hit, full force, into those water barrels there at the entrance of pit road at Sosnowski, who's been running up inside the top 5 pretty much this whole evening. Especially here during these last few, maybe past 20 minutes or so. Has been a contender here really for this win. He may be out of this thing. And if so, what a way to go out. And I believe Michael Norman is coming to pit road here. Well, maybe not. No, he's going to stay out. But regardless of whether he gives up the lead coming to pit road or whether Kyle Thomas is going to pass him, I think it's just a matter of time, because Kyle Thomas is closing, and he is closing very, very fast. Last time by, he was actually only about a little over 2 seconds back, and I believe he's now closed up to about 1.5 seconds off the back bumper of Michael Norman. He is coming, and if he catches Michael Norman, Norman's going to be a sitting duck. Because Norman is very close on fuel right now, you got to imagine, and his tire rubber is definitely nothing like Kyle Thomas's. That's why Kyle's been able to run him down so quickly, is because he's got a lot more grip coming into these corners than Michael Norman does. And look at this. Look at that turn Kyle Thomas made right there. He just made up maybe about 3-4 car lengths, maybe more, between himself and Michael Norman. Now, the thing Kyle Thomas has got to be careful of is if he does catch Michael Norman, if he's not able to pass him before these drivers get to pit road, he's got to give Michael Norman room, because Michael Norman's going to have to pit at some point here. I don't think Kyle Thomas wants to wait till pit road, though. Trying to take that turn a little bit wider, actually lost a little bit of ground, did Kyle Thomas. Now he'll try and make it back up here. And he is right there. You'll want to be careful, though, because this is getting close to that segment there where the pit road is. Whoa, Kyle, careful! Man, he almost turned the 7 machine there through that corner, and that would have been close. Now he's trying to peek out of line. You're going to make a move, Kyle. This is the place to do it. And apparently he's not going to... Well, there he goes. To the bottom. And Michael Norman is going to have to give way. And apparently Norman is still not going to have to come to pit road, but he will not cross the line this time as the leader. Kyle Thomas making the clean move and making the pass. Now he'll take the lead, and now I'm certain that he's going to open up the gap between himself and Michael Norman already. You can see he's starting to open it up. It's probably about 9 car lengths between himself and Michael Norman at the current moment, and that is going to continue to open up for sure. Actually, just to give us an idea, he was 0.6 of a second ahead of Michael Norman at the line. We'll have to see just exactly how much distance, how much time he opens up between himself and Norman when he hits the stripe the next time around. Well, folks, as the ticker continues to wind its way down here, we are about 30 seconds away from hitting the 1 hour remaining mark. Segment 6 will end at exactly 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds, since we went under green at 5 minutes and 55 seconds to start off this segment. So it'll be a full 3 hours to the second. You can't even see Michael Norman anymore. Oh, now you can. You couldn't on that one camera angle, though. And now the crew chiefs telling their drivers, right now, 1 hour left in segment 6 here of the 24 hours of Sebring. This is going to get really good, because Kyle Thomas right now is starting to catch up to drivers on the tail end of the lead lap. Oh, Bello! Joseph Onesto just got spun again. Contact again. This time with PJ Williams and right in front of the leader, Kyle Thomas. Onesto continuing to not be able to catch a break. He will now fall another lap down to Kyle Thomas. And that's going to slow up PJ Williams as well. I don't even really know how that contact came about. It didn't even look like one of those drivers was coming to pit road or something. They just got into each other. And that was right in front of Kyle Thomas. That could have been big trouble for the 77. But now, PJ Williams has got some kind of damage out of that, you gotta think, and that may cause him to be a little bit slower, and that means Kyle Thomas, in just a matter of time, will be catching up to him. Let's actually look and see. 3.92. 3.3 seconds. Kyle Thomas picked up on Michael Norman that lap. That just shows you how good that 77 car is, especially when they get fresh rubber on that machine. Trying to look up ahead, find PJ Williams, and look like it doesn't look like he's that close to being caught by Kyle Thomas, so Thomas may have a little bit of a reprieve right now. So let's take a look here at the running order, and Kyle Sosnowski is scored 3 laps down. I don't know if he is out of the race or not. Let's actually update right now and see if that is the case. And yes, Kyle Sosnowski has taken his car back behind the wall, joining Dylan Young, Alex Tanker, and Jacob Anthony. A tough break there for that 9 team. Let's give you a full field rundown after the cycle of pit stops that just took place not too long ago. Kyle Thomas is the leader. Second place right now is still Michael Norman. He's about to maybe lose that spot very soon, because Avis Rapax in third is starting to catch up. Fourth place is Eric Cardona. Fifth place Henry Nova. Sixth is Matt Duell. Seventh place Noah Hart. 8th is Ralph Mason. 9th place is Darian Taylor, and Alyssa Fields completes the top 10 with Dylan Pote right there hounding for that 10th position at the current moment. Alex Pedro, he is currently running in the 12th position. 13th PJ Williams, and he is actually the last car on the lead lap. 14th place right now, 4 laps down, that is Joseph Onesto. And then out of the race are the drivers that are 15th on down, and they include Kyle Sosnowski, Alex Tanker, Jacob Anthony, and Dylan Young. So Kyle Thomas continuing to hit his marks here tonight. And that car, when we started off this segment, I mean, he was really, really stellar. His car did not seem to wiggle at all. I don't know if there's been a difference in the nighttime conditions now, or if they've tried making adjustments and it hasn't quite worked out. Whatever the case, the car is fishtailing through some of these corners now. But the ironic thing is, it seems to have made him faster. So, you know, there may be something to it. Maybe a looser race car is a faster race car, but I would have thought with the fact that there's no elevation changes here, it's all flat track and very, very tight turns, that you wouldn't want to have a loose race car for fear of it spinning out on you, but apparently that is not the case. And PJ Williams, currently the last car on the lead lap, is in danger now of going a lap down to Kyle Thomas, as the gap between the 77 and the 12 is very quickly closing up. As a matter of fact, you'll see right here on the front straightaway, PJ Williams just then hit the stripe, and Kyle Thomas has just now hit the stripe. He is closing in on that 12 machine, who you have to feel has a little bit of damage after that contact between himself and Joseph Onesto. But you got to feel for Onesto, man. I mean, he spins out, he keeps his car on the lead lap. He actually was still at like maybe 3-4 car lengths behind the last car on the lead lap, so he was right there, still in the opportunity to be able to pick up spots. But then he ends up having trouble on pit road, has to spend a long time there getting that machine repaired to be able to continue on the track, falls 4 laps down, and then gets involved in an incident with PJ Williams and spins out one more time. It's actually fine, Onesto. Still on track, and still a total of 4 laps down to the leader, Kyle Thomas. Key words there, though. 3 key words are still on track. If you are still on track, you advance into the next segment, which, by the way, is going to be taking place over on Jamie Pinter's channel, or Jamie Pinter. I don't know how you pronounce the last name. Sorry, Jamie. But be sure and check out the link in the description. It's right at the very top of the description. Be able to head over there, subscribe to that channel, so that way you'll be able to tune in and be made aware of when Segment 7 comes out. Then the final segment, Segment 8, is going to take place over on the place where this whole thing started. John Citadino's channel, UticaHomeTrackSeries. If you're not already subscribed to him, the links to everybody who took part in this 24-hour race as far as the segments, the links to all of their channels are down in the description as well, including Anthony McCurry's, James Silverfox, Robert Piette. I'm forgetting somebody, aren't I? John Citadino, and I'm trying to remember who did segment 2. And for some reason it's escaping me and I can't bring it in. I will think of it. Anyway, though, right now Kyle Thomas is the leader. I will get that name. It's in the description for you guys to see, but I want to be able to remember it myself, to prove to myself that I am not getting Alzheimer's here at such an early age. You can hear that engine up ahead of the leader, Kyle Thomas, and that is PJ Williams. And right now, Kyle Thomas is closing in on that 12 machine, and you gotta wonder how much of a fight is PJ Williams gonna put up. I mean, PJ's gotta know that right now he is not going to win this segment. That's rather obvious. So do you take the risk of battling hard with the leader and possibly taking yourself out? If you take yourself out, your co-driver's not going to be driving that machine in the next segment. Or do you just let Kyle Thomas go on by, fall a lap down, and then wait until the next segment to be back on the lead lap? That's got to be something that's going through PJ Williams' mind right now. And you got to wonder what the answer is. Whatever the case, though, folks, we are going to step aside from the mic for a bit. As you're watching this rundown, Kyle Thomas trying to catch the last car on lead lap, PJ Williams. We will be right back here for the continuation of the longest NR 2003 race in history, the 24 Hours of Sebring. Don't go away. We'll return in just a moment. of Sebring. As we continue to watch Kyle Thomas here, and during that break, he has slowly been reeling in the last car on the lead lap, PJ Williams. However, I don't know what it is, but Kyle Thomas does not really seem too keen to want to have to get up there and race with PJ Williams. And I don't know what kind of communications are going on pit road between the 77 and his crew chief, but you gotta wonder if maybe, just maybe, Kyle Thomas was let in on the fact that there was contact between PJ Williams and Joseph Onesto not too long ago, and maybe Kyle Thomas doesn't want to afford the risk of racing with the 12 in case the same thing happens to him that happened to Onesto just a little while ago. I mean, I'm pretty certain that Kyle Thomas, with the kind of car he's had tonight, if he wanted to, he could get right up there to the back bumper of that 12 machine very, very quickly. But he does not seem to want to force the issue. You see there, it's looked just about this way from his camera angle, just about the same the last 3 or so laps. Maybe about 10 car lengths separating the 12 from the 77. I don't think Kyle Thomas is too keen to get up there and race with that 12 machine. If he is, though, I can guarantee you Kyle Thomas is going to pick the spot where he wants to make the move, though. Well, he's not going to have to worry about it. Well, that was that just made it very easy for Kyle Thomas. PJ Williams now headed for pit road. And this is a regularly scheduled stop for PJ Williams, too, who is off the pit sequence from everybody else. This, I believe, is going to be PJ Williams' 4th time on pit road during the span of this 3-hour segment. As we'll jump back up here to Kyle Thomas. See if there's any battles on track. Noah Hart is... well, they've got him scored in 5th, but now he's 2nd. Because Avis Rapax actually just came to pit road. And so did Cardona, and so did Henry Nova. Okay, so we saw these guys in not too long before we came back on the air for the second half of this race. Or this segment, I should say. And they're back on pit road again now. As PJ Williams will finish up his service. So, I believe Rapax was running in 2nd at the time. And I believe Cardona was running in 3rd. Matt Dool now pulls into his pit stall just as Cardona is leaving. If that had been a split second later, that could have been big trouble for the 2 in the 83. Alyssa Fields now coming down pit road as well. That's the first time tonight Alyssa Fields actually been on the pit sequence with somebody. Coming down the same lap as Matt Dool and Cardona and Nova and Rapax. There is Alex Pedro. I don't think he's been in yet. And there is Kyle Thomas. So he leads. Noah Hart 2nd. Darian Taylor would be 3rd, Poteen in 4th, and Ralph Mason right now in 5th. This is actually a good battle on track. This is at the current moment for the 5th position. Mason has it, Michael Norman wants it. Michael Norman, after losing the lead to Kyle Thomas, really seemed to fall off, but right now, with the way the pit stops are cycling around, he is battling for a spot inside the top 5, and he is going to make the move there in the S's. That was a nice move there by Michael Norman. Perfectly timed and perfectly executed as he'll take over 5th place. Mason now back to 6th. And I believe cycling around Avis Rapax would be in 7th at the current moment, but keep in mind, he was the first driver running the furthest up to actually pit. All these other drivers just ahead of him are going to have to come to pit road at some point. And for a number of them, it could take place as early as this next lap. I think the next driver out of the ones that are on track still, coming down pit road, could very well be Michael Norman. We know that Dylan Poteet and Noah Hart, those two are on the same pit sequence, and I believe Ralph Mason is on the same pit sequence with those two as well. And those guys ended up pitting maybe 2 laps after Kyle Thomas did, so they can go a little bit further than the 77. Just a matter of time of when Kyle Thomas is going to be coming to pit road. Just up ahead, there's another car. Who is that? Well, that's Alyssa Fields. Pole sitter in possible danger of maybe going a lap down, even though she actually has pitted. Kyle Thomas is not, so that will actually help her out once Kyle Thomas makes a pit stop to be able to open up the gap and not be in danger of going a lap down. As Thomas will stay out an extra lap here. He's about maybe 5 to 7, maybe even as many as 10 laps to the good over Nova and Ray Pax that we saw coming to pit road there. Matt Dool. And who's the other one? Eric Cardona. Right now, though, to bring you guys up to speed, if you're just joining us here, this is a 3-hour segment right now, according to what I'm looking at here. We have about, just roughly, I guess, because I don't have the timer up here, but figuring in my head, we've got about maybe 41 minutes remaining in this segment. And we do have drivers that have retired in this segment that will not be moving on to segment 7, including the 14 team, Dylan Young retired, the 19 team with Jacob Anthony going behind the wall, those two retiring due to solo car spins and hard impact into the tire barriers very early on in this segment. Alex Tanker ran out of fuel, got rear-ended by Alyssa Fields, his car out of the race. The 88 team is done. And not too long ago, Kyle Sosnowski, who was up there leading a while ago, ended up coming to pit road double wide with his teammate Noah Hart, and he hit the barrels blocking pit road from the racetrack just along that barrier there, and his car is out of the race as well. So 4 drivers out of the race. We currently have 2 drivers that are, I believe, 1 lap down. PJ Williams is 1, I believe. That is indeed the case. And also Joseph Onesto, who is just... It seems like everything that could happen to a guy to go wrong has happened to Onesto tonight. He is currently 4 laps down, but still running on track. Another driver on pit road there. That looked like that could have been Noah Hart. It is. And the interesting thing is that Noah Hart's on pit road, but Dylan Poteet is not, and neither is Ralph Mason. Those 3 were all on the same pit sequence. Actually, I'm not certain that maybe Noah Hart's on pit road for some other reason. His car is not being serviced. It is just sitting there. Something might have happened to Noah Hart here. And if so, that's the second of the Chip Ganassi cars to end up having problems here tonight. We saw Sosnowski have problems, and now Noah Hart sitting idly on pit road. Is he still there? He is still there, and you can see they are not servicing his machine. Something has happened to the 10. Oh, man. I told you, it doesn't have to be early on that them to counter problems. It's an endurance race inside of a huge endurance race, a 3-hour endurance race inside of a 24-hour endurance race, and anything can happen at any time. And apparently we just had that point proven with something happening to Noah Hart. Take a look at the right side of your screen at our NSRA split cam here, and we'll see what exactly has caused this problem for Noah Hart and that 10 team. This is actually the battle for second. Darian Taylor, Michael Norman, and Dylan Poteet. Now, I actually think that Taylor was actually on the same pit sequence with Ralph Mason and Noah Hart and Dylan Poteet as well. So we'll probably see the 3 and the 13 come to pit road at the same time. I've actually not been able to keep track of what Michael Norman's pit sequence is, when he came in and when he left. It's in accordance to everybody else. So as far as when he's coming to pit road, that's a big question mark as far as I'm concerned. But he is in 3rd, and Dylan Poteet runs in 4th. PJ Williams is a lap down, but so is Joseph Onesto. And then there is your 5th place driver, Avis Rapax, who's still waiting for everybody ahead of him to come to pit road to see where, after the cycle of pit stops, where he's going to come out as. 6th place right now, Henry Nova. 7th place now is Eric Cardona. 8th place will be Matt Dool. Ninth is Alex Pedro. This is actually a battle for position. Pedro in 9th and Ralph Mason in 10th. Remember how Alex Pedro ended up losing a lot of ground? He still was on the lead lap, but he was about maybe a full minute, maybe 2 minutes behind the leader. He's now up here battling for a spot inside the top 10. That is indeed for position. Talk about a comeback for Alex Pedro. Very nicely done by that team. But now, oh, Ralph Mason's going to move him out of the way. And, oh, Pedro's into the grass. That just causes those tires to spin. And that's going to lose him a lot of track position now on what was a good battle for 10th at the current moment. Alyssa Fields back there in 11th. And then there you got the leader, Kyle Thomas once again. 11 drivers on the lead lap right now. 2 drivers off the lead lap. PJ Williams and Joseph Onesto. And Noah Hart still sitting on pit road, as it looks like Darian Taylor just made a pit stop there with that 3 team. And apparently the pit sequence is splitting up even more, because Dylan Pote did not come to pit road there the same lap as Darian Taylor. He stayed out. He's in 3rd place right now. And Michael Norman is in 2nd. We're still waiting on Kyle Thomas to come to pit road. Michael Norman, Dylan Poteet, and I believe there's one other driver we're waiting on. Maybe not. No, I guess that's it. As here's a battle here, not for position, but lead lap car Avis Rapax trying to get by lap down car Joseph Onesto. And Rapax's got to be careful here. I mean, he's running well, but Noah Hart was running well too, and look what happened to him. Kyle Sosnowski was running well, and look what happened to him. Alex Tanker was running well earlier on, and look what happened to him. So, you know, you want to be careful, and now it looks like he's going to make a nice clean pass down here coming to this corner. See if he clears him. I think he just did. Very nice pass there by Avis Rapax, as he'll get around now the lap machine of Onesto. And Noah Hart has now completed his service and come off of pit road, so apparently he will be able to continue. That's the good news. The bad news is, though, as a result, he has fallen 2 laps down to the leader, Kyle Thomas. And that was a driver that could have very well, if pit stops and pit strategy and all that had come into play here near the closing stages of this race, could have very well been able to pull off something to win this segment. Right now, it is still Kyle Thomas leading. That team, really, you got to think, when you think about it, that team has been flawless all night long. Drivers have encountered problems. They've tried to counter those problems with pit strategy. Kyle Thomas, all he's done is just run a pristine race, pit when he has to, hit his marks. He has had to fight for the lead a couple of times. He's had to fight Alyssa Fields. He's had to fight Noah Hart. He's had to fight Michael Norman. But he's done a tremendous job of completing those fights and coming out victorious. We're still waiting on him to come to pit road, though. And he may actually be coming to pit road this time. He is. So Kyle Thomas going to make his 4th pit stop of the evening. And I don't know, is Michael Norman going to stay out, or is Michael Norman going to come in? Is he going to be off the sequence still, or is he actually going to stay on sequence with Kyle Thomas? I think we can basically assume Dylan Pote will come in this time. But the big question mark for me is Michael Norman. So that's why I want to keep an eye on him, because I don't know what his pit sequence is. And he is not going to come to pit road, doesn't look like. Oh yeah, he is, okay. He didn't look like he was coming low enough in that corner to be able to come down pit road. But he is going to come down and pit. And Dylan Pote is actually going to stay out. So Dylan Pote, for the first time tonight, is actually, I believe, out in front. Wait a minute. Oh wow, just barely. Look at this. There's Kyle Thomas. Now Kyle Thomas right now is running in 3rd because look who bypassed him. Avis Rapax, after that pit strategy, was the first of the drivers to come down pit road. He came out ahead of Kyle Thomas. He is currently running in 2nd, just behind Dylan Pote, who still has to pit. So very interesting here, and Pote may have some problems here. PJ Williams, the lap machine, just got by him. Avis Rapax just took the lead away from Dylan Poteet. I didn't know if maybe Poteet might have been out of fuel, but apparently not. Look at this. PJ Williams around the high side is going to take away that spot. It's not for position, but it still is spot on track. And now Dylan Poteet about to fall into the clutches of Kyle Thomas. And this is good news for Rapax right now, because with the way that this is, Kyle Thomas is going to have to concentrate on battling a driver for second place right now. Rapax could use that to his advantage to maybe pull away. Quite an interesting thing taking place here, that is for certain. And believe it or not, folks, after this cycle of pit stops, we are just about to the point where we're going to have 30 minutes remaining in this segment. We should be hitting it in just about maybe 10 seconds now. As now here comes Kyle Thomas underneath of Dylan Poteet. Oh, man. And now Kyle Thomas has to jump up high as now Poteet trying to milk that machine to pit road and finally will. Man, Kyle Thomas just nearly about wrecked there with that 13 car. And now Poteet, I believe, is the last of the drivers to come to pit road. And for the first time here tonight, Avis Rapax is going to have a rather commanding lead over Kyle Thomas. Last time by, it was 3.5 seconds. Let's see what it's going to be this time. Now there is a machine of PJ Williams also between Avis Rapax and Kyle Thomas, so that is also going to come into play. The fact that Kyle Thomas is not going to be able to just run down the leader and pass him. He's going to have to run down PJ Williams, pass him, and then run down Avis Rapax and pass him. So a little bit more on the to-do checklist for the 77 here. And you gotta wonder too, I mean, I have not really kept track of how many laps have been turned within a half-hour span. But we do have just about half an hour left in this segment. Are Rapax and Kyle Thomas going to have to come to pit road again at some point before this race is over? This segment? I don't know for certain. I mean, when we were back talking about that there was an hour left to go, I think they had just finished up pit stops. And now they have just finished up pit stops just before a half hour to go. So almost, you gotta wonder if maybe it's between maybe 22 to 25 minutes that the ratio is of these drivers having to come down and pit. If that is the case, these drivers, according to the calculations I've got in my head, which may not be correct, they will, all of them, have to come down pit road one more time before this segment is over. We call that in racing terms the money stop. And it could end up being the deciding factor between the two strategies here of Avis Rapax and Kyle Thomas as to who is going to win this segment. Cycle of pit stops, let's give you another through the field here. Rapax is the leader. Kyle Thomas is back now in second, actually trying to get by the PJ Williams machine now. We actually probably should keep an eye on this. Kyle Thomas, remember, ended up not wanting to really force the issue with PJ Williams before, but that was when he was in the lead. Now he's in second, wanting to get by PJ Williams, and I think he may actually clear him through this corner. He will indeed, so he's in second, now clear of the lap machine of PJ Williams to go to work on trying to run down Avis Rapax. Third place is going to be Henry Nova. Pit stops have been his best friend. He's picked up maybe 2 or 3 spots on pit road every single time that he has pitted. Eric Cardona is up in fourth, and Matt Dool has now cracked the top 5. In fifth place, Ralph Mason is sixth. Seventh, Michael Norman. Whoa, Darian Taylor slipping and sliding through the S's, but he's in 8th. Ninth place right now is Alex Pedro. This is actually a battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th between Pedro, Alyssa Fields, and Dylan Poteet. 12th place, I believe, is PJ Williams. and he is a lap down. Noah Hart, who we're looking at right now, is 13th. He is 2 laps down. 14th, 4 laps down, is Joseph Onesto, and then drivers out of the race include Kyle Sosnowski, Alex Tanker, Jacob Anthony, and Dylan Young. And Noah Hart could have some company pretty soon. Avis Rapax is slowly reeling in that 10 machine. Now here's an interesting factor that I was just thinking about. Avis Rapax came down pit road maybe about 7 to 10 laps earlier than Kyle Thomas did, which means that, by all rights, Kyle Thomas has much fresher rubber than Rapax does. So as far as Rapax is concerned, it's not going to be too difficult, I don't think, for Kyle Thomas to be running down Avis Rapax. Wow! Kyle Thomas was mighty squirrely through that corner. He's got to be driving the wheels off that thing right now, I think. Because that is the loosest I have seen that 77 car all night long. I've seen him fishtail sometimes, but he nearly lost that car that time. Right now, though, Avis Rapax leading the way, and the gap between himself and second place Kyle Thomas is 1.8. About 3 laps ago, it was about 3.5. So that shows you that Kyle Thomas is indeed closing. Now what Rapax has got to do, has got to hope, is that if Kyle Thomas gets to his back bumper, and if Kyle Thomas is able to make the pass, as Kyle now goes off into the grass area off that corner, he is driving much more maniacal than we saw him driving earlier on here, pretty much ever since about 10 minutes ago, all the way back to the beginning of this segment. But, you know, what Rapax has got to hope is that if he does get passed for the lead, is that he doesn't lose a whole lot of touch with Kyle Thomas, so that way, if these drivers all do have to come back down pit road one more time before the segment's over, which according to my calculations, they will have to, that he will be able to come out ahead of Kyle Thomas, just like he did here under this last cycle of pit stops. I don't know, though. It's going to be really close. That may have been their strategy all along, but only time will tell whether or not it's going to come to pass. I'll tell you the one driver out of all these drivers, though, that I have been the most impressed with. I mean, Kyle Thomas, he has been dominating this race. Avis Rapax has been using strategy very well, but he started up at the front. My guy here tonight has got to be Eric Cardona. I mean, for heaven's sakes, he started this race from the 18th position. He has stayed out of trouble. He's gotten around drivers that have encountered trouble. He has used pit strategy to perfection, and he's up here in the 13th position, or in the 3rd position. He has picked up 15 spots in the span of 3 hours. This guy, I'm telling you what, this is, without a doubt to me, the guy that really deserves the recognition tonight in this 3-hour segment, because he has just done a tremendous job. For handing out call-outs, though, how about 5th place Matt Dool as well, started near the rear of the field too. Didn't start dead last, but I think he started in 16th place. And now here, with coming up to just about 20 minutes remaining in this segment, he is up inside the top 5 in the 5th position. And I just realized that the sponsor on that 83 is Novolog Flex Pen. I've actually stickered that before when I worked in a pharmacy. Very random, I know, but it was the first time I actually saw that sponsorship on there. Just up ahead in 4th place, Henry Nova. Now, it's not like Henry Nova's been having a picture-perfect night. He ended up having that contact, as we saw, with, oh wait, there's someone on pit road. Is that Darian Taylor? That is, Darian Taylor's now on pit road. Something must be amiss on that machine. Boy, just in the last few, like the last 20 minutes, we've had 2 drivers encounter problems here. Noah Hart and now Darian Taylor. As Taylor now sits on the pit road all by his lonesome. Take a look at your end of race split cam, see what happened to the 3 cars. We'll continue to talk about Henry Nova here. Nova has been picking up spots on pit road, but pit road has not exactly been his best friend in the form that he ended up having that contact with Joseph Onesto on pit road. When Onesto stopped to pull into his pit stall, Nova's pit stall was a few stalls down and he ran into the back of the 35. But apparently they got the damage on that car repaired pretty well. And he is running really good here tonight, looking to end out the evening, this segment, with a top 5. Ralph Mason, he's been really quiet here tonight. He's not been talked about much. So why don't we spotlight him here for a minute. Ralph Mason, a very well-known endurance racer, has just been biding his time right now. I mean, Ralph Mason knows better than anybody here, as far as endurance races. It's just about surviving. And you know, Ralph Mason, he's running in 6th place right now, but we haven't seen him up at the front. That could be actually on purpose. I mean, Ralph Mason right now is just hitting his marks, running his race, and waiting until he's going to be turning that ride over to his co-drivers for segments 7 and 8. I mean, we've seen already here tonight that Dylan Young, Jacob Anthony, Alex Tanker, and Kyle Sosnowski, they will not be, and their co-drivers and their teams will not be moving on to segment 7. And a number of them were up at the front of the field and actually led some laps here tonight. So for Ralph Mason, I think his goal is just to finish out this race. He knows that he has to have that car there at the end, in one piece, not out of the race, to be able to have them be in contention for segment 7, and then hopefully if whoever takes over the racing duties then makes it over to segment 8, then they're in the running for the win. That's what I think a number of these drivers are actually planning on, because there are a number of drivers here who really have not forced the issue here tonight and been battling way up there. One of them is actually Dylan Poteet. Dylan Poteet has started up at the front of the field here for this segment, but has been back from about maybe 9th back to 13th during the course of this evening. He's right now running in 8th. He has not forced the issue. It's looked like he's had a rather ill-handling race car as well, so he's wanting to be a little bit more cautious and not get racy with people with ill-handling cars. You can see right there, that car just slid through that corner. Literally, he drifted through the corner and got into the grass a little. But the goal there, I think, for that 13 team is also just try and ride it out, remain in the race, finish the segment, and you'll be around for segment 7 and segment 8. I mean, this team, they haven't exactly been strong this season, this entire race. I mean, the very first segment, Chris Washer was driving the car, had the car spin out on him, but he ended up not retiring from the race, and that's why they've made it all the way here to segment 6. Curious to know where Alex Pedro is right now. He's currently in the 10th position. This is kind of a comeback story, if you will. Pedro had actually spun out, had to come to pit road, remained on the tail end of the lead lap, and now with these drivers encountering problems, he's been able to pick up spots, and he's right now running inside the top 10. Having a very good run here tonight. And I say a good run, even though he's a long ways back, because it's certainly much better than it could have been if he had had to take his car back behind the wall after the spin out he had. Meanwhile, Kyle Thomas still leading here. And let's see how far back Rapax is. There's Rapax. Not too far behind. He can't really let Kyle Thomas get out of eye range. If he does that, it could really be very testy as to whether or not Rapax's strategy is going to work out if these drivers all have to come to pit road at least one more time. Meanwhile, though, Kyle Thomas leads the way. I think I've said that maybe 100 times here tonight because he has been dominating this race. There has not been one other driver tonight that has dominated this race the way he has. There have been names that have popped up at the top of the field, including pole sitter Alyssa Fields, Avis Rapax, Michael Norman, Dylan Poteet, Noah Hart, and Kyle Sosnowski, as well as Alex Tanker, but nobody has put on quite the beating tonight as Kyle Thomas has. Kyle Thomas has passed people coming off pit road. He has pulled away from people while leading, and if he's not leading, he runs down those drivers and passes them. He's done it to Norman, and he just did it not too long ago to the now second place driver, Avis Rapax. So here comes an interesting question. If these drivers do all have to pit before this race is over at least one more time, if it comes down to it, will it actually be Kyle Thomas having to run down Avis Rapax again? And if that's the case, will Rapax have enough to be able to hang on? Very interesting question. And we're getting close to being able to find out that answer, as we have roughly 16 minutes remaining in this segment 6. Just want to remind you all again, segment 7 will be taking place over on Jamie Pinter's channel. If you don't know what channel that is, check down in the description, the very top link there. We'll send you his channel. Be sure to subscribe to his channel so that way you will be notified in your YouTube feed of when segment 7 is out. And then segment 8, the finishing segment, hours 22 to 24, will take place over on the place where this race started. UticaHomeTrackSeries, John Cittadino's channel. You can find his channel and the links to all the other channels of the people who participated in this 24-hour race down in the description, including Cittadino, Silver Machine 9000, Anthony McCurry, Joseph Onesto, Robert Piet, James Silverfox, and Jamie Pinter, who we're going to be seeing the next segment come out on his channel. I also want to take the opportunity to thank John Cittadino for giving me the opportunity to be able to take part in this historical moment. The longest ever race in NR 2003 history. 24 hours. Absolutely unbelievable. Taking place, I believe, on 7 different channels. And I want to thank John Cittadino for allowing me to be a part of it. It's been great. It's actually been the first time that I have actually soloed an endurance race. I have a little bit of experience of doing endurance races with Anthony McCurry and Ralph Mason, of course the 2.4 hours at Le Mans and everything, but I think I can safely say this is the longest race that I have ever commentated in my life, by myself. Right now, though, Kyle Thomas, I'm honestly thinking, here in these closing stages, that these drivers may actually try and stretch it all the way. I mean, you think about it, we're getting close to coming up on 10 minutes to go. I don't know if these drivers would risk the problems that we've seen happen on pit road here during the course of this segment come down in pit. Would they actually, you know, try coasting, try conserving fuel? They very well might, but I don't know. Right now, though, Avis Rapax is all by his lonesome. Lap Machine of PJ Williams by his lonesome. We don't really appear to be having any battles on track right now, as Cardona 3rd, 4th is... yeah, who was 4th? I didn't even see who it was. I wasn't even registering. Henry Nova. 5th, Matt Dool. Well, here's a battle, actually. 6th and 7th. Ralph Mason, Michael Norman. Where have we seen this before? Wasn't this battle raging on about half an hour ago? And it's going on here one more time. And the last time we saw this battle happen, Michael Norman actually was able to pass Ralph Mason. That time, though, he took that final corner really wide. Mason kept it pinned way down to the inside, and Mason actually got a good forward bite off the corner and has opened up the distance between himself now and Michael Norman. Norman now starting to close it back up again, though. Folks, in about 2 minutes, we'll be hitting the 10-minute warning. 10 minutes left to go. As right now, there's about 12 minutes left remaining. We're going to take our final break here. I will be back for the 10 minutes to go in segment 6 of the 24 hours of Sebring, airing here, segment 6 on the NHRA Sports Channel. Here in the 6th segment of the 24 hours of Sebring, and as you just saw there, Kyle Thomas, for the first time tonight in the closing stages of the segment, actually utilized pit strategy. That is the earliest I have seen Kyle Thomas hit the pit road this entire segment. And you gotta wonder, what is the strategy for Kyle Thomas? The only thing I can think of is fresh rubber. I mean, right now, Avis Rapax now is going to be on older tires, which Kyle Thomas is going to utilize. Kyle Thomas is going to be able to use the fresher rubber to lay down faster lap times, and more than likely, this could throw the strategy of Avis Rapax right out the window. And Rapax is now going to come to pit road. So this is going to be interesting. This is the money stop. These two are actually, I think, going to be the two that are going to battle it out here tonight. And with 10 minutes remaining, this is crunch time. This is the money stop. Rapax has got to have a fast pit stop right here, right now. While he sits on pit road, Kyle Thomas with fresh rubber is going to be laying down lap times to try and close the gap up here and get ahead of Avis Rapax on track here with now less than 10 minutes remaining. Rapax still in pit road. We got to find that 77. Here he is. Right now running in second place. He's getting close to the final segments of this. Rapax had better hurry up. Rapax still sitting on pit road. What's Rapax doing? Oh, okay, now he's going. Now he's going. Kyle Thomas has not yet gotten over there to that segment. He's got to hurry. Okay, now he's coming into this corner. He's got a couple more corners to go. Whoa! Hang on to her, Kyle. Oh, man. Right now, things are looking good for one Avis Rapax. I think he may actually... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. I thought we had to look for Kyle Thomas to come around. I think Kyle Thomas may have actually already come around. I think Rapax lost the lead already. And here I thought we were going to have a good battle. But apparently, Kyle Thomas went by before the camera even saw him. And I think, well, yeah, I'm pretty certain Kyle Thomas is going to come around here and cycle as the leader. I may be wrong, but that's the way it seems. Dylan Poteet running in third right now. I believe he still actually has to pit, but I'm not certain. We gotta wait until they come around here and hit the stripe before we know for certain if indeed Kyle Thomas is the leader, or if he has to run down Avis Rapax. But I'm pretty certain that Kyle Thomas has cycled around as the leader. He'll hit the stripe, and we'll wait for the ticker. Yes, he is indeed the leader. Yes, Kyle Thomas, with that pit strategy, is going to keep the lead. I believe Poteet has now hit pit road. That should turn second place over. Well, it'll turn it over to Eric Cardona, who actually just made a pass there on Avis Rapax. That's for second. So Eric Cardona, who started this race from the 18th position, dead last. Oh wait, they're saying he's in third. Oh, that's because Dylan Poteet was second. Poteet crossed the line before Cardona did. Now second place goes to Eric Cardona as he has passed Dylan Poteet, who is on pit road. And Rapax apparently got thrown way off his game with the 77 doing the strategy that he did, and that has dropped him now back to the third position. 2 lap machines, Joseph Onesto and PJ Williams right now between the leader Kyle Thomas and second place Eric Cardona. Cardona, during the span of 3 hours in an endurance race, has managed to pick up 17 positions from dead last to second place. And Kyle Thomas, for the first time tonight on the final pit stop of segment 6, actually pitted, I would say, a good 10 laps sooner than he had to. And that, you gotta think, has got to be due to wanting to have fresh rubber to lay down fast laps for the ending moments of this segment. What strategy there by Kyle Thomas. First time we put strategy and Kyle Thomas in the same sentence. But what a great job that team has done tonight. And they just cap it all up there. It's like the cherry on the sundae. Topping it all off with that strategy to get him out in front there, is that is, I believe, Noah Hart now coming back on off of pit road. Noah Hart is, I think now, 2 laps down. Yeah, he was a lap down. Now he's going to fall a second lap down here. PJ Williams is a lap down. Darian Taylor, you saw what had happened to him earlier on. He is 2 laps down in 13th, but I believe the 3 car is still running. Yes, he is, so that's the good news for him. And the last car running on track 4 laps down, that is Joseph Onesto, who's actually just now making his pit stop. So after the cycle of pit stops, this is the way they run, and maybe the way they'll finish, as we're going to be coming up close to 3 minutes remaining here in segment 6. Kyle Thomas is the leader. Eric Cardona very much in control now of second place. Actually, he just ran his fastest lap of the evening, a 1:55.3 that last time around. So talk about coming on strong at the end. Cardona is second. Third place is Avis Rapax. Henry Nova in fourth. Michael Norman right now runs in fifth. Matt Dool is sixth. Ralph Mason's in seventh. Eighth is Dylan Poteet. Ninth, Alex Pedro. And 10th place is going to be Alyssa Fields, who I believe is the last car on the lead lap. Everybody else, PJ Williams, Noah Hart, Darian Taylor, and Joseph Onesto, are at least 1 lap down to the leader, Kyle Thomas. So, man, a night of strategies all of a sudden out the window after the leader and dominator of segment 6, Kyle Thomas, utilizes some pit strategy of his own. And I honestly think that Avis Rapax was counting on them not pitting until another 5, 6, 7, maybe even as much as 10 laps so that way he was going to be able to utilize the fresh rubber strategy and be able to get by Kyle Thomas just like he had done the last time they had done pit stops. But that apparently is not the case. Kyle Thomas pre-interpreted that, and he was just one step ahead, and that is just going to pay dividends here. Whoa! Careful there. Kyle Thomas slipping and sliding all over the place here. He's just got to keep that car straight, though, and he's going to win this thing. It's not determined by laps, it's determined by time, and we are coming up on about a minute and a half left here in segment 6. It's been a long 3 hours for me, probably a long 3 hours for these drivers. But they will now be able to turn over the driving duties to their co-drivers, and everybody on track right now will still be in segment 7. A couple of names, a couple of big teams will not be in the running though, as they have retired at some point during this 3-hour segment. 3 lap cars between Kyle Thomas in second place, Eric Cardona, including Joseph Onesto, Noah Hart, and PJ Williams. 1 minute remaining here in segment 6 of the 24 hours of Sebring. I would say maybe this next lap by would probably be the ending point. I think we could say right here would be the white flag for this segment, because they will more than likely make it around here to the stripe after the 3 hours, 5 minutes, and 55-second mark, which will hit exactly 3 hours since we went green to start off this segment. Kyle Thomas has led 57 laps of the 100 laps here on this ticker. Michael Norman has led 2, Alyssa Fields has led 18, and the only other 2 drivers to lead laps tonight, Avis Rapax, or actually 3 drivers, Avis Rapax has led 6, Noah Hart has led 6, and Darian Taylor has led 1. We have had only 6 different leaders tonight. The dominant one, Kyle Thomas. As you see, the time has run out. This race is officially over. We'll let them race here back to the stripe, but this race has finished out, and Kyle Thomas is going to win segment number 6. What a great night there for that team. Kyle Thomas just got to make sure he gets it around here in one piece and doesn't wreck it up. Man, this race had a little bit of everything in it, but Kyle Thomas was definitely the class of the field tonight. It was looking like it was going to actually be a battle between himself and Alyssa Fields, but Fields had problems tonight. It looked like it was going to be a battle between Kyle Thomas and Noah Hart, but Noah Hart encountered his problems. Michael Norman made a challenge, but he soon faded, and then it looked like it was going to come down to the wire between Avis Rapax and Kyle Thomas, but Kyle Thomas again and again and again emerged the victor. This segment is now over. They're going to come down and hit the stripe. I want to thank you all for joining me here for this 3 hours in segment 6. Segment 7 going to be taking place over on Jamie Pinter's channel. The finale, segment 8, will take place over on John Citadino's channel. The links to all those channels are in the description. Be sure to subscribe to them in order to be able to keep followed up with who's going to win the longest race in the history of Enter 2003. Also be sure to subscribe to those that did parts earlier on before this one, including Anthony McCurry, James Silverfox, Robert Piet, and Joseph Onesto. Links to their channels are in the description as well. And be sure to check out also the official 24 Hours of Sebring playlist. The playlist link is also in the description as well. Once again, I want to thank John Citadino for allowing me the opportunity to be able to broadcast part of this historical race on my channel. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. This is the way that these drivers all finished out segment number 6 here on the Ice Sports channel, and we hope that you guys will be tuned in for segments 7 and 8 coming up soon. I will see you guys next time as you are watching coverage of the 24 Hours of Sebring here on the NSUA Sports channel. Kyle Thomas is your winner of segment 6.